events and issues shaping our community. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Comcast Newsmakers is on the road. We're here on the plaza of the state capitol all this month for Children's Week. And our guest this hour, Phyllis Kalifeh, President and CEO of the Children's Forum. And thanks very much for joining us. So your main emphasis is early childhood development. We're talking kindergarten to fifth grade, or to,
well, no, really birth to five,
fifth, yeah.
And then after school programs for kids.
And exactly what's your emphasis as far as that's concerned, as far as developmental of the child?
Really what we're focusing on, of course, is high quality early childhood experiences for young children. And to do that, we need qualified folks who are working with them on a daily basis. You know, in our state, we have about 60% of those who care for young children birth to five have a high school diploma. So what we're all about is helping to prepare that workforce to be better able and equipped and trained to do productive, effective things with young children.
Is that a problem that you need to see rectified, or what is the issue as far as the high school students, high school educated individuals who actually can help people?
Exactly. Well, I think part of the challenge for us is folks are entering this field, and we have a high turnover rate, between 30 and 40% annually. Now you can see what difference that makes then when you're talking about forming attachments with young children to their caregivers and ensuring that they have stable, relationships with their caregivers. And so,
any idea where Florida ranks with the rest of the country as far as that sort of dynamic?
Unfortunately, we're in there with the rest of them. I mean, this is a pervasive problem throughout our nation. And part of that is because it's a field that is suppressed by the market. In other words, families can't really pay more, and so we can't pay the salaries we really need to pay in order to attract and retain highly qualified individuals working with kids.
How early should children start being educated?
Well, actually, I think education begins with parents in the home, and I think they're the first and primary educators for their children. And so parents, I think that if parents provide loving, supportive, nurturing environments for their children, they are learning. But typically, a lot of folks look at around 2 or 3 for exposing them to some kind of social or group interaction to start learning some of the basics to help them be ready for kindergarten.
So social interaction is just as good as scholastic interaction, and it's just as important.
Absolutely. The social and emotional development of young children really will determine how well they learn in other areas of their lives. If children feel warm, supported, and then they can interact with other children, cooperate, get along, that's an important skill.
Is that something that they taught, or is just instinctive?
Well, I think that if you provide the right environment for them, that they can acquire those skills. Of course, in modeling and being around other children who also have those skills, and good qualified teachers to help guide and direct them, I think then those skills develop.
And you could also detect any problems that might be happening because of the children might act out the same way they're being treated, or what's happening at home.
Absolutely. You can tell a lot by how children interact with others.
So it's an education process when you detect problems for both the parent and the child.
Absolutely. And then, of course, a trained teacher can also spot perhaps some developmental delays or other issues that they need to get some intervention for.
Have you seen more involvement by students coming out of college getting involved in early childhood development?
We do have some interest, certainly from high schools and colleges, but one of the challenges we have, unless we can pay more for this field and more for those who are in this field, we have difficulty attracting the talent that we need to be able to educate our children.
And that's what brings you up here to Tallahassee, asking for more funding?
Absolutely. Well, part of it is to sustain at least our good programs for young kids. We have an early childhood scholarship program called TEACH, and we need to make sure that we continue those investments in those who work with our children.
I suppose with any of these programs, the key is funding, and during these economic times, it's tough, isn't it?
Absolutely. It becomes increasingly more difficult, and we have to determine what are our priorities, and are we going to invest where we can reap the greatest return on our investment.
And you're looking for more for private donations as well, right?
Absolutely. Anywhere and everywhere, I think it's certainly a worthy investment. We know the economics are there, that if we invest now, we save later.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks very much. Phyllis Kalifeh, our guest this hour, President and CEO of the Children's Forum, as we are joined with Dora the Explorer and the Rugrocks behind us during Children's Week here in Tallahassee. I'm Spiro Cannon. Thanks for joining us.